And let there be no mistakes about this. Whoever governs Singapore must have that iron in him, or give it up. This is not a game of cards. This is your life and mine. I've spent a whole lifetime building this. And as long as I'm in charge, nobody's going to knock it down.
He once said, "A Singapore leader must be made of iron," and history proved him right. Today, Singapore is rich, efficient, and globally admired. With some of the world's best infrastructure, education, and governance, it stands as a shining model of success. But it wasn't always like this. Decades ago, Singapore was a struggling port city written off by the world. Yet through bold decisions, strict discipline, and unwavering leadership, it rose to become a global economic powerhouse. So with GE 2025 on the horizon, the question now is this: what kind of leader does Singapore need to carry Lee Kuan Yew's legacy forward? Born on September 16, 1923, Lee Kuan Yew came from humble beginnings. His parents were third-generation Straits Chinese, what we now call Peranakans. Life was modest, finances were tight, but Lee's resolve and ambition burned brighter than his circumstances. By 1935, he was enrolled at Raffles Institution, Singapore's oldest and most prestigious school. Though his early academic journey was rocky, Lee soon rose to the top, eventually acing the Cambridge examinations and proving he was no ordinary student. He earned a scholarship to Raffles College, but his education was disrupted by World War II. During the Japanese occupation, Lee adapted, taking on odd jobs and even launching a small stationery business just to get by. But he never lost sight of his goal. After the war, he pursued law in the United Kingdom. There, he not only thrived among top students, but earned the esteemed Fitzwilliam Whitlock Prize, an early sign of the excellence that would define his future. Returning to Singapore in 1950, Lee Kuan Yew wasted no time stepping into the legal and political arena. By 1954, he co-founded the People's Action Party, PAPE, alongside other rising leaders determined to shape the future of the nation. Despite being new and relatively untested, the PAPE made a bold debut. In the 1955 general election, they won 3 seats, one of them held by Lee himself. But the journey ahead was anything but smooth. The party endured political detentions, public unrest, and accusations of communist sympathies. Critics tried to silence them. The establishment tried to discredit them. But Lee remained firm, strategic, disciplined, and unshaken. And in 1959, when Singapore gained internal self-governance, Lee Kuan Yew was sworn in as Prime Minister. From that moment on, the course of Singapore's history would change forever. When Lee Kuan Yew took office, Singapore's GDP per capita was just $1,204. By 1990, it had surged beyond $18,000. Unemployment dropped from a staggering 13.5% to just 1.7%. Where there was once poverty, instability, and corruption, there was now progress, order, and trust. Lee led with bold vision and precision. He welcomed global investors and opened Singapore to international markets. He turned the island into a thriving financial center. He envisioned and built the Garden City, blending urban growth with environmental care. He reformed education, healthcare, law, and governance, bringing them to world-class standards. But beyond infrastructure and economics, Lee's greatest legacy may be his belief in meritocracy and talent. He didn't just lead for the moment. He built systems designed to outlast him and continued delivering excellence for generations to come. Legacy and lessons for GE 2025. By 2013, The Economist named Singapore the best country to be born in Asia and 6th worldwide. In 2021, Credit Suisse projected that the number of millionaires in Singapore would grow by nearly 62% by 2025, despite global economic uncertainty. These aren't just impressive numbers. They're the living proof of Lee Kuan Yew's vision. A vision built on discipline, foresight, and the unwavering belief that a small nation can punch far above its weight. But as Singapore heads into GE 2025, the path forward is no longer just about maintaining success. It's about redefining it. Singapore today faces the challenge of an aging population that is already placing strain on healthcare and social systems. At the same time, it must navigate growing geopolitical tension between global powers like the US and China, while continuing to walk a careful line of neutrality and national interest. Artificial intelligence and automation are rapidly transforming jobs and industries, forcing Singapore to adapt or risk falling behind. And the urgency of climate change calls for bold, forward-thinking policies in sustainability, energy, and green innovation. So now, the question isn't just who will lead, but what kind of leader does Singapore need? Someone who doesn't just manage, but inspires. Someone who doesn't follow trends, but anticipates them. Someone with the resilience of iron, the vision to adapt, and the courage to stand firm when it matters most. Because Lee Kuan Yew didn't just build a country, he built a standard. And GE 2025 will test who is truly ready to uphold it. The leader Singapore needs today. Singapore stands at a crossroads. The challenges ahead are different from those Lee Kuan Yew faced, but the qualities required to lead remain timeless. The next generation of leadership must carry the iron will of Lee Kuan Yew while also embracing the evolving demands of a modern world. We need leaders who uphold integrity without compromise, leaders who cannot be bought, shaken, or swayed. We need visionaries who plan not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 20, who understand that true progress is built through foresight, not short-term wins. We need resilience, the kind of strength that holds firm in the face of global turbulence, public doubt, and political storms. We need a global perspective, an understanding of the world's shifting tides, while always putting Singapore's interests and unique identity first. And above all, we need inclusive, forward-thinking minds, those who can unite a diverse society and lead boldly through the tides of technology, climate change, and cultural transformation. Singapore doesn't need another Lee Kuan Yew, but it needs someone who understands what he stood for, someone who will lead with the same clarity, courage, and conviction. Because in a world that's changing faster than ever, only strong, visionary leadership can protect what Singapore has built and push it to even greater heights. Lee Kuan Yew once said, "I have spent my life, so much of it, building up this country. There's nothing more that I need to do. At the end of the day, what have I got? A successful Singapore. What have I given up? My life." As we approach GE25, may we remember what it truly takes to lead Singapore forward. Not just ambition, but iron. What kind of leadership will shape Singapore's next chapter? We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to World Without Borders for more insights that shape our world.